What's up, everybody out there? This is Wade from the Public House. I run the venue here normally when we have shows, which we, as everyone knows, are not doing currently. So we figured we'd get creative and start doing some different kind of things down here. So we are here tonight with local band Easy Jim, music of the Grateful Dead. I've also got with me Gene. Gene, you want to introduce yourself to these folks?
What's up, guys? Sure you guys have all seen me there at the Public House doing production-related stuff. We're just stoked to have Easy Jim with us, get some music talk going, and keep you guys interested with some musically related content. And we figured what better way to start than with our local Easy Jim Grateful Dead band.
Awesome. And Easy Jim, I know we got most of you guys here. You guys want to just go down the line and introduce yourselves to people that might not know you and to let them know what you play in the band, I guess, and we can go from there.
Yeah, my name's Ben Wright. I play drums in the band, live up here in Crested Butte. Yeah, I've been in the area since about 2002 and have been involved in the music scene ever since. So, yeah, I want to thank the Public House for having us.
Right on.
I'm Tyler Lucas and play guitar in the band and been up here in Crested Butte since 2005 and just itching to get out and play music with these guys again. Yeah, I can't wait to be in the same room with y'all.
Hey, I'm Zach Gorsuch. I play keys. I too am itching to get back to it, but my wife and I live in Gunnison, where we run a school. I'm a music teacher there, and obviously that's not happening either. So it's been kind of dull times, but we're filling it by getting outside. And of course, I'm over here once a day building the chops, and like I said, eager to get back to it whenever that comes. Good to be here. Thanks for having us, by the way.
That's my turn. Hello, is it on? My name's Dwayne Dotson. I've been in the Valley about 5 years and play the other guitar. And yeah, itching to get back to it. Missing everybody. And I don't know what the protocol for interviews are, but I did take a shower for this. So hope that comes through. Thanks, guys, for putting it together. And yeah, looking forward to seeing everybody live again one of these days.
Yep.
There, Dwayne, this is the first time I had a collar on for sure in about 2 weeks here. So.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Well, that's one step ahead of me. I'm still in t-shirt, but.
I bought a stick of deodorant today, but I didn't use it.
Hey. Yeah. You don't need it in the VR world that you're currently living in.
Yeah. As long as you got TP, right? I mean, I guess that's flying off the shelves.
Yeah, I guess we'll fire it off with pretty simple question. Just when did you guys get together? I guess I'll fire this over at Ben there as he kicked us off. When did you guys get together and how long you guys been playing, and sort of combo that with what made you choose the Grateful Dead and the people that are in the band to kind of play Grateful Dead music.
Yeah, so Easy Jim, the first edition of Easy Jim got together fall of 2019, if I'm correct. My buddy Kevin Reiner, who I used to play in Dr. Robert, the Beatles tribute band with, he's a huge Deadhead, and the Grateful Dead is one of his favorite bands and has meant a lot to him in his life. And he's always wanted to play in a Grateful Dead band. And so the opportunity came up, and we've all been in the local music scene for a little while now, so we all kind of know who's playing what locally, and you know, the personalities and their work ethic and whatnot. And so it got thrown out there to all of us to see if we wanted to start the group, and we all said yes. It's a hard, you know, there's no way we could say no. And as you guys know, we had Jim Michael in the band originally playing drums, and it was myself, Tyler, Dwayne, Zach, and Kevin. And then Jim had to bow out of the band back in December. And then we brought on Chris Chalmers from Gunnison, who is playing drums with us now, and who we're very psyched with. Great guy. He learned the catalog that we played at the Public House in about 2 months. So he put that whole performance together in a couple months, which was really fantastic. So yeah, we're psyched where we're at right now, and we know that we're going to come out guns a-blazing once we can play. So.
That's awesome. And I guess this kind of ties into that, a question that I had, that you guys have stayed pretty true to the Grateful Dead in having the 2 live drummers on stage, which we've packed into here at the Public House a few times now. And so I guess, you know, Ben and everybody though, I personally, you know, I play music as well, but I've never played with 2 drummers at the same time, really. And so I'm wondering, you guys did that. Obviously, that's how the Grateful Dead did it. How has that been for you guys? I'm assuming you haven't played in a band with 2 drummers at the same time before necessarily, or at least consistently maybe. But if you guys just want to talk about that a little bit, because I just feel like that's interesting and not a lot of bands do that.
Yeah, it's been an awesome challenge. It's been going really well, way better than expected, actually. What has helped a lot, I feel like, is both Chris and I have been through a music program, and we studied music in college. So I played in percussion ensembles. You know, I've played in other ensembles with multi-percussion happening. And my teachers as well have also kind of taught me how to go about playing with multiple percussionists in the group. So we both have kind of that mindset of knowing how to not walk all over each other when we're playing. Because it's a real fine balance. You got to really, you know, you got to listen to each other 100% of the time. There's no downtime whatsoever when you're on the drum set. And it's a little more free flowing for us. We don't necessarily have written parts, you know, we don't have a chord structure necessarily that we're following, or, you know, we just kind of hand it off to each other and feel each other during the song. Usually one of us will be, you know, on the hi-hat. You know, Kreutzmann was huge on the hi-hat, as we all know, and really kept the train moving on that hi-hat. And when he was on the hi-hat, Mickey a lot of times was adding a lot of really interesting nuances and embellishments and whatnot on the toms and the ride cymbal. And so you just kind of go back and forth. And Chris and I like to both, we're not setting in each other, we're not setting in apart necessarily. So if I'm on the hi-hat and I hear him over on the ride or the toms, y'all stay there. And then if it kind of morphs, you know, I'll go to the ride and the toms and he'll go to the hi-hat. So yeah, it's really cool because it opens up space for us too. So you're not locked into keeping time all the time. So you can, you know, have moments of exploration and experimentation, and you got someone solid behind you playing the groove. So that's really fun. You can try some new things and not be super nervous about it, I guess, because you know you got another drummer there playing with you. And yeah, it's really fun. So we're enjoying it a lot. And we know it kind of is a unique thing for us too. Not a lot of bands are doing it, so we hope that also adds to the show element of things too. So we're enjoying it all around.
Awesome. Anybody else have any double drummer comments that they feel they want to add to that one?
Yeah, Ben and Chris have commented how that you know, we go into a lot of jams, and that's where the fun starts, I think, for you percussionists. You really fill that space with all kinds of crazy stuff. And when, you know, Jim stepped out in December, it was kind of, I don't think anyone even considered going on. We played a show at the Center for the Arts in CB with just Ben, and that was the only show we've played with one drummer, and he crushed it. you could have sworn there was 2 drummers maybe, but moving forward, I don't think any of us thought, you know, we should proceed that way. I think we just, you know, immediately thought about, you know, who we're going to bring in here, because you know that's authenticity to the music for sure. You know, that's what it's all about.
I'd add to that too that like Ben said, and I think Zach echoed, it's it definitely opens up some space, especially in the jams, with this music. And it surprises me when I go and see or hear about Grateful Dead bands that are out there, and there's really not a lot of them that are playing with two drummers, and they're doing great. It's awesome. It's really incredible what people are doing, continuing the tradition of this music alive. Um, but when you think about the way the Grateful Dead evolved and how it evolved, and I really think it has a lot to do with the two drummers, because it creates a space, it creates a platform for improvisation when you get into those jams, and when you're in them, and when you're playing with two drummers. I've never experienced anything like that before. Personally, playing in different bands, when you have two drummers, everything is more fluid. It's just way more fluid, and it allows you to go places that you couldn't otherwise. And it's super fun. And I'm just really um, I'm 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 really grateful, pun intended, to be a part of that. And I'm excited to see where that goes and how we can explore those spaces more with two drummers. It's really cool.
I think that's super cool, and sort of the segue that to Tyler, you and Dwayne playing. I heard Ben say not necessarily one of them is choosing Mickey's parts or the other parts. Same with you guys on guitars. I feel like I've talked to you about that before. Like when I saw you guys play, it wasn't like somebody was Jerry and somebody was Weir. And I think that's really cool what you guys are doing there, where you guys are kind of like just feeling each other and stepping into the roles sort of and switching throughout the show. So can you talk about that a little bit, like musically, finding the way to play together as two different, guitarists and sharing the stage at the same time?
Yeah, I think by default we just kind of ended up doing that. We didn't really talk about if somebody was going to take the Bobby part and Jerry part, and we still, it just kind of seems to organically work out just by listening and watching. If we're fortunate enough to be somewhere where I can see what he's doing or hear what he's doing and adjust, and he does things better than I do. And it's probably the other way around as well. So we try to play to our strengths, and I can only say that well, I hope it makes us a better band, being able to the talk back and forth, and just I'm really enjoying it. I don't know how Tyler feels about it, but I think he does.
That's awesome, and I think obviously there are distinct parts in the Grateful Dead's music between the two guitars, and we're really cognizant of that. And I think we just kind of work it out. We work it out amongst ourselves, and sometimes, like for instance, one song that we do that I love is in China Cat. Where I start out playing the Jerry part, and then Dwayne's playing the Bobby part, but then halfway through the song we kind of switch, and then we go back, and there's sort of this there's an interplay there, and we're aware of what the parts are to the tunes, and that's important to maintain the and to honor the tradition of what's going on. But really, when you think about the Grateful Dead, it's about a collective effort. And so not one of us is going to embody one or the other, one way or the other. So we also try to bring our own spirit into it in the context of the music that we're playing. So
I think that comes out a ton in the sound, and I think it's pretty awesome. It adds to it. It makes it feel like that's what they would have done. It wouldn't be you play this part, you play this part, just kind of flows. You definitely hear it.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah.
I would agree. Yeah, you guys do that really well. It's cool because a lot of, bands, Grateful Dead cover bands and tribute bands and people that are kind of doing it as well, they do kind of separate that sometimes. And while that can be cool, I've liked and enjoyed a lot the way that you guys have done it. Like you said, it keeps it fluid, keeps it, I don't know, just a little more organic, I think, and it works. So it's very cool.
And I would add to that too. Zach is such a proficient piano keyboard player that we like to give him a lot of solos and expand that space with that, and that's really important to us too. And so it does sound a little bit different than a traditional Grateful Dead show, but we honor the tradition and we expand on it, and that's the beauty of this music. It's for the ages. I believe that.
Absolutely. That's great. That's good stuff. Well, cool. One thing we wanted to touch on here, obviously we're here having this Zoom interview. We can't be in a room together. We can't, do any of this stuff in the same place. So I'm wondering how you guys, obviously everybody Zach mentioned before, you're, working on your chops on your own. And I think all of us as musicians are definitely doing that on our own. Are you guys doing anything currently in any way together? Are you guys, passing around song ideas or, Zoom practicing or doing anything that, is a little bit collaborative right now in any way that you can? Or how's that going?
Yeah, we're pretty limited. We've been getting together on Zoom, just meeting, doing this sort of thing, chatting and catching up with each other, making sure we're all doing all right. Because we're a unit, we're all good friends. We want to make sure everyone's doing well. So we haven't been able to do any kind of practicing together. But yeah, we've been throwing around some song ideas. We got a good chunk of new tunes that we're busting out at our next show. And we're working on who's singing what harmonies in some songs, who's going to be playing lead and rhythm and stuff like that to try to keep our best foot forward when we get out of this. And so, yeah, it's been, we're all doing our practicing on our own as well. Yeah, as a group, we're just kind of limited to the verbal stuff right now, unfortunately. But yeah, it's we're doing the best we can, and we're still staying in touch with each other, which is super important. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's worth noting that Kevin, our bass player, is a phenomenal singer. He's got excellent pitch, and he's been doing these vocal harmony lessons where he'll research like the best one out of all the shows the Dead's done, and he'll be like, "Here's the Bobby part," and he'll sing it, and he'll say, "If you want the fourth part, here's what it sounds like. Whoever wants it." He is extremely gifted singer. He's got a great ear for music, and I think that's helped us kind of like as vocalists really drive the band. I mean, we don't do it for every song. Certainly for like Uncle John's band, some of the more complex harmonies, he's in there kind of giving us tutorials basically on all of our parts, and it's pretty special to have that kind of dedication for sure. And we thought about singing on Zoom. We haven't tried it yet, but I'm pretty sure eventually we're gonna have an itch to start doing something on here. But it's important to us to be getting together weekly and checking in on one another and just kind of keep the ball rolling as far as the material goes and the discussions. And we have no shortage of time to work on these songs, so that when we get together, we'll be that much stronger and ready to put it out and be strong for the people.
Absolutely. We all can't wait for that as listeners. Really stoked for the next time you guys can get out there and on the Public House end too, just the next time we can host a show. If I'm correct, you guys were the last ones that played, right, Wade?
No, that was like second or third last.
Yeah,
we had two midweek shows that were after the 2-night run. Epic
Red Lady Ball night.
2-night run.
And to segue, that night was huge. You know, those 2 nights were huge, and there was just a massive catalog that you guys played and a massive amount of time. Were there any moments or any specific songs that you guys felt stood out of that 2-night run there at Public House, or any song specifically that you just like really were elated to play or remember really kind of climaxing in?
I don't know how it was for everybody else, but let's see. Was it this? I can't even remember if it was the first night or second night, but the wheel, that was a highlight for me. I felt like the hairs were standing up on the back of my neck after that one. It just, I don't know. I think Kevin and I looked at each other at one point and just, big smile. Like, wow, we really pulled it off, and that was the first time I think that we played that tune. And just the harmony and having that powerhouse rhythm section behind you. I mean, that was one of my moments. And I don't know, there were others too, but that one stands out.
Yeah, me too, for sure. That was definitely a highlight. I was holding back tears on that one, and that was really special for me. Yeah, I've only listened to it once, so I don't know how it sounds. I'd love to see it.
I feel like that must be. I just finished the full show, and I will send this over to Kevin. We've been communicating about that, but anyway, I think that was on the second night because I have not heard it on the first night.
Yeah, there was a Uncle John's band, I think, with that, and what else? Playing, maybe? I can't remember. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like Uncle John's was right there with it or something, like we got out of that one.
Yeah, that was a special moment. That was 5 long sets of music, and looking back on it, I know a lot of people have told me that was the last time they've seen live music, and that's hard to process. It's a month later now. What can we do? What can we do now?
Right. I mean, that, and a lot of us, I mean, us locally, you guys specifically, this group talking right now, we see so many shows, and to go a month with 0 shows, it's pretty crazy. So that is the question. What do we do? Stuff like this, I guess. Keep talking about it. Keep, working on it, and just doing what we can do till this thing ends, I guess, right?
Watching the live streams, all the free live streams that get on there, all the back content that we're fortunate enough to have the time to edit now and release out to sort of our fans is kind of all that we've been able to do. So we appreciate you guys coming out and doing this interview with us and sort of providing us with some musical content for the Public House fans. And then we just wanted to throw out one last thing for the Public House listeners and the viewers of this video. Easy Jim's been, kind enough to accept the challenge of, if you guys want to leave a comment of maybe a Grateful Dead song that you didn't hear somehow between those 3 massive sets that they played last time, that you want to hear them play, leave a comment of that song, and these guys are going to take a look at it and review over it, maybe throw it in the, hopefully soon we'll get another set out of Easy Jim.
That's awesome, and thank you, and thanks to everyone that's listening and watching this. I just want to, kind of remind everyone that we're the local band, and we're all working some degree and trying to figure out our lives. Some of us have kids, and we're just here trying to get by. And I'm really happy to do this interview with you guys, and I hope that you will continue to pursue some of the other musicians and artists that are out there that you guys have had at your venue, because I'm really curious as and really concerned about some of the musicians that are out there right now. How in the hell are they going to make money? How in the hell are they going to get by? we're really lucky because we have this community, and a lot of us in this band have jobs that are ongoing, and so we're doing fine for the most part. But how are the other musicians getting along? And I'm really concerned about them, and I hope that you guys will reach out to them, and hope we get some more interviews and hear from other bands and musicians that are out there. So thanks for doing what you're doing, everyone.
Yeah, thank you guys, and absolutely, Tyler. That is, you guys are the first. We haven't done this before, so wanted to start local, and that is the ideal. We'll branch out from there and reach out to some bands that have played here before, that and we can learn about what they're doing too. And like you said, it is these all of us as musicians. That's the part of our lives right now we can't really do the way we did before. So yeah, that's a great point. We'll hope to get some new stuff out for everybody soon. Another thing, we are going to add a link to this post just to the Community Foundation of the Gunnison Valley, again, to encourage people to donate, because obviously, like Tyler mentioned, a lot of us in this conversation are doing okay. We've got our jobs, we're okay, but a lot of people aren't. And that organization is doing great stuff to help the people that are in need in this community. So we just want to encourage that. You can just click the link and then it takes you to them, and it explains everything that they're doing and what you can do. But we would like to remind everybody to do that. Yeah, unless anybody's got anything else, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wade.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, hang
Yeah.
in there.
Thank you, Public House.
Yep. For sure.
Right on, guys.